It's good to see you. Welcome to Arts and Crafts with Miss Kyla. That's me. I'm an artist and teacher coming to you from Southern California, and I'm so excited to get to work with you through Encore. Just a few things before we get started. Before you start any new arts and crafts project, it's important to get organized. So we want to make sure our space is okay for us to work in. You might be on the floor, at a table or a counter, or outside. Wherever you are, it's probably a good idea to cover your workspace with a tablecloth or a big piece of paper. That'll make cleanup just that much easier. For this project, you might want to use scissors, glue, or other craft supplies around your space. Make sure whatever you're using, it's okay for you to use. And if you're not sure, ask an adult. You might also find you need help cutting or gluing something, and an adult isn't available to help you right now. You can always get creative and think of another way to do what you want with your project, or you can be patient and go back to that step later. I can't wait to get started on this week's project, so let's get going. This week, we're going to create houses for our ideas based on the book, What Do You Do With an Idea? For this craft, you're probably going to want a bunch of different colors of colored paper, some crayons, tape or a glue stick, some scissors, and you'll definitely need a box. You can either use a shoe box, a tissue box, or anything small like that. Make sure whatever box you choose is okay for you to cut up, color on, or glue things to. And if you're not sure, ask an adult. So before we can turn this box into a house for our ideas, we need to create what our idea looks like. Now in the story, What Do You Do With an Idea? The main character's idea looks like a little egg with feet that's going to hatch. So I'm going to show you how to draw something similar to the book, but your idea might look completely different. And if you want to draw something else, go ahead. The important thing is to make sure whatever we create to stand in for our idea fits inside of the box that's going to be its house. You could even use a toy or figure that you already have if you don't want to make your own. So to draw our egg-shaped idea like in the story, first we're going to take a white piece of paper or any colored piece of paper that you'd like to use. Now my box isn't all that big, so I'm going to make my idea about the size of my thumb because I think that'd be about the right size to do. Now, if I accidentally make it too big or too small, I have plenty of paper and I can always cut myself another one. So the way we're going to draw this idea is pretty simple. Basically, he's an egg with feet and a crown. So to draw my egg shape, I'm going to use a pencil, but you could use a crayon, a marker, or anything else you can draw with. And I'm going to draw an egg shape about the size of my thumb because I know that for my box, that's about the size it needs to be. If I make my egg too big or too small, I can always cut it or redo it to make it the right size. So now that I've drawn an egg shape, I'm going to go ahead and add a pair of feet. Now, my idea is going to be my own, just like your idea is going to be your own. So you can decide what kinds of feet or shoes you want to add. Maybe they're bird feet, or maybe your idea wears a pair of sneakers. It's up to you, but get creative and try something you hadn't thought of before. I'm going to draw my idea wearing a pair of sneakers. Now, the main character's idea was wearing a crown in the story, but I'm going to draw my idea wearing a party hat. And you can draw your idea wearing any hat or wig that you want to. Once my idea is drawn, I'm going to add some color. Then I'm going to cut out my egg. Now, once my idea is cut out, I'm actually going to take a small strip of my extra paper and I'm going to use it to create a stand so that my idea can stand up all by itself. So the way I'm going to do this is to cut just a short strip of paper, only about as wide as my finger and about as long as my thumb, once again, out of my paper. With this strip, I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm going to attach one side to the very bottom and back of my egg. So with the crease at the very bottom of my egg, I've created this little stand that will let my egg stand up all by himself. Now let's set this guy aside while we set up his house. Now you'll want to go ahead and get your box. Now, all of our boxes are probably going to be a little bit different, which means that all of our houses are going to be different too. And that's awesome because all of our ideas are going to be unique, so they'll need a special place to live. My box is pretty wide, pretty good size tall, but not very deep. So I'm going to face it this direction and have this be the front side of my house. You might decide to turn your box sideways on one end or even try it upside down. You can decide to do it however makes sense to you. To make your house and all of the things inside it, you're probably going to want some multicolored pieces of paper or maybe some extra cardboard or cardstock that you have around. You could use ribbons, string, crayons, markers, paint, anything you have access to. Make sure that whatever materials you choose to use are okay for you to use. And if you're not sure, ask an adult. There are a couple of things that you might want to think about putting in your house for your idea. You might want a bed or somewhere for them to sleep. That could be a nest, a couch, maybe even a cloud or something else that I can't even think of. When you're putting together your house, think about what your idea might need. I might think my idea needs a place to sit and rest. So maybe a nest or a couch or a bed. They might need somewhere or something to eat, depending on what they are. So that might be a fully stocked kitchen or somewhere that they can go hunting if that's the kind of creature they are. It's entirely up to you and what you think your idea will need. I think my idea would like some sort of a jungle habitat to live in, but you can think of anywhere that your idea might belong. Maybe it fits in best at the circus or the beach. It could be anywhere and anything, and you are the best person to know exactly what's going to work. So while we're thinking of ways to make our houses perfectly suited to our unique ideas, let's listen to our story. I think my assistant Quill has got it. Quill?
Hi everyone, good to see you again. My name's Quill, and I'm Miss Kyla's assistant. This week, I'll be reading What Do You Do With an Idea by Kobe Yamada. I love this story, so let's get started. One day, I had an idea. Where did it come from? Why is it here, I wondered? What do you do with an idea? At first, I didn't think much of it. It seemed kind of strange and fragile. I didn't know what to do with it, so I just walked away from it. I acted like it didn't belong to me, but it followed me. I worried what others would think. What would people say about my idea? I kept it to myself. I hid it away and didn't talk about it. I tried to act like everything was the same as it was before my idea showed up. But there was something magical about my idea. I had to admit, I felt better and happier when it was around. It wanted food. It wanted to play. Actually, it wanted a lot of attention. It grew bigger, and we became friends. I showed it to other people, even though I was afraid of what they would say. I was afraid that if people saw it, they would laugh at it. I was afraid they would think it was silly. And many of them did. They said it was no good. They said it was too weird. They said it was a waste of time and that it would never become anything. And at first, I believed them. I actually thought about giving up on my idea. I almost listened to them. But then I realized, what do they really know? This is my idea, I thought. No one knows it like I do, and it's okay if it's different and weird and maybe a little crazy. I decided to protect it, to care for it. I fed it good food, I worked with it, I played with it, but most of all, I gave it my attention. My idea grew, and so did my love for it. I built it a new house, one with an open roof where it could look up at the stars, a place where it could be safe to dream. I liked being with my idea. It made me feel more alive, like I could do anything. It encouraged me to think big, and then to think bigger. It shared its secrets with me. It showed me how to walk on my hands. Because, it said, it is good to have the ability to see things differently. I couldn't imagine my life without it. Then, one day, something amazing happened. My idea changed right before my very eyes. It spread its wings, took flight, and burst into the sky. I don't know how to describe it, but it went from being here to being everywhere. It wasn't just a part of me anymore. It was now a part of everything. And then I realized what you do with an idea. You change the world. Wow, what an amazing story! I bet you've come up with some pretty amazing ideas yourself. Now let's head back to Miss Kyla and see what we've done with our houses for our ideas. See you next time. Bye!
That was a great story. And while we were listening, I was working on my house. So for my idea, I decided to create a jungle house where he could live. I used some construction paper to draw some trees and create the grass in the back. Then I ripped up some green paper to make vines. And then I used some green and brown paper to make a little nest over in the corner where he can sit. I bet you came up with something completely unique too. And hopefully these nests will help our ideas hatch soon into something amazing.
Like me?
Well, Quill, you are amazing, but you've already hatched.
Oh. What's he gonna hatch into? A new assistant?
Quill, why would I get a new assistant? You've been doing a fantastic job.
Really?
Yes, really.
Oh.
And remember, you can always add more to your house for your idea if you get some more inspiration. Right, Quill?
Yeah.
So until I see you again, I'm Miss Kyla.
I'm Quill.
Stay curious.
Get creative.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.